Hello again, hello again, hello again. Trying to correct a problem. One being that all my live videos tend to, I can't think of words today. They tend to publish as being published 3 weeks ago. And I don't know why that is. So I actually set a go live time or a publish time for this like 20 minutes from now. So hopefully that will correct the problem. But I just wanted to let you know I'm having another CAT scan today, sometime this week, maybe, well, it'll have to be Friday. I'm going to have another blood test, and this will determine, after my last blood test, my CE levels like doubled. I called the clinic, and they told me to double my tonic, and sorry, I guess I'm not in a very good area, so kind of in and out here. But in case you didn't hear that, I have a CAT scan today, a blood test Friday. But I am stopped or slowed down drastically. It would be nice if things would start reversing. So I've been on the SEACT for, what, 5 months now? April, May, July, August, September, October. Gosh, it should be 5 or 6 months now. So hopefully that will start reversing things. So I'll let you know when I find something out. Yeah, I have so many things to talk about, but I just feel like on a live video, I never know how good the connection's gonna be, or so I don't know if I always want to talk about it, but then I can't ever seem to sit down and record a video. Life is just kind of crazy. But well, I'll just give you a sneak peek of what's been on my mind, so that if I can manage to get a video in, and maybe if I give you a sneak peek, then I will be more inclined to sit down and do the video. But I don't know why. Maybe because it's been almost 3 years. Wow, I can't believe it. It's been almost 3 years since my ex-husband moved out. It's 3 years this month. Matter of fact, it's been 3 years. Not almost, but it's been 3 years since he moved out. I asked him to move out. I was hoping he would move out, spend a year in therapy, and we'd get back together after a year and hopefully start doing things better. But of course, being the narcissist that he is, he had no interest in bettering himself because he thinks he's perfect. He thinks he doesn't need any help. So what's been on my mind lately is just what happened whenever I realized, I had to divorce him. And what happened in the church that I was in. I use church with air quotes because that place is not a church. A church is where people go to fellowship, to learn about God, to speak about God. Those people, their fellowship was only fellowship if you obeyed them and did what they told you to do. That's not how it's supposed to be. They think it is, of course. But, they, like many churches, have made an idol out of marriage and have decided that you must stay married no matter what, unless you can prove that there's been absolute infidelity. They don't realize that infidelity covers a whole lot of things. And of course there's abandonment too, but they believe abandonment is they leave and leave you penniless. But there's emotional abandonment. And, they just don't understand marriage. They don't understand what marriage is supposed to be. And anyway, I just want to get into all that in a longer video. And I want to talk about exactly the things that they said and the things that they did. And because, I don't know why. Sorry for the shadows. I don't know why, but it's been on my mind lately, and I still find myself getting really angry about it. And I love the church that Christ gave himself for, but I don't necessarily like the way that individual churches think that they're supposed to be doing things. And it's really infuriating. It really is. If a woman stands up for herself, then she's a woman's liber, and she must have green hair, and she's a Jezebel spirit. And that I believe, and I feel like it's righteous indignation that just flares up in me, and it just makes me so furious, because this is my home, because Christians, this is our home. The church is our home. Well, heaven's our home, but here on earth, the church is where our home is, and our family is supposed to be the people in church, and to have the people in the church in our home treat us like that after we've already been treated like garbage by our spouses. It's just infuriating. It is so infuriating. And I tried so hard with this last church, because every church I'd been in, I'd gone to the pastor. I'm like, we need help. Please help us. And some of them wouldn't even do it. Some of them I don't touch marriage. I don't do anything. I don't deal with marriage issues. Well, who the heck are you then? I mean, isn't that what a church is the marriage between Christ and his bride? And you're not going to deal with marriage issues? Oh, I'm telling you, I could just go on and on. I get so angry. So some of them wouldn't even do it. Some of them would do it. And I think of all the ones that would do it, there was only one that really saw what was going on and kind of called my ex out on it. And of course, nothing changed. And then all the rest of them were just kind of like, oh, well, we'll just, show him some Bible verses and we'll do a Bible study together. Oh, I like him. He's a nice guy. We'll do some Bible studies together. I'm like, well, what I'm telling you is that at home, he's not a nice guy. At home, he's a monster. But nobody wanted to hear that. Matter of fact, I was labeled the monster because I dared, to speak the word abuse about my ex-husband. And it makes me so angry to this day when I think about it, because churches are still doing that. Women are still being treated like that. Where if a man were to come in the church and say that his wife is abusive, I guess they could probably get dismissed too, because now you're not being a man. You're not being a man and controlling your wife. Or they might believe it and tell him, well, you've got a Jezebel wife, and she needs to be corrected. But either way, the attitude isn't going to be right. The attitude is, we need to get you help, and we need to see what's going on here, and we need to help you. Maybe you'll need to be separated, and we need to talk to you guys individually and see what's going on. And, I don't know, as the church, maybe I could go and get some education about emotional, physical, mental, spiritual, financial abuse. Maybe I can go and get some education. But you know what my last church did? The last Sunday I was there, and after this I decided never to go back. They did a sermon on the dangers of popular psychology. And they were looking at me, looking directly at me the whole time. And then afterwards, they came down the guy who preached it came down the aisle and said, "Good morning, Jennifer." Now, that man had never done that. In the whole time, 2 years I'd been going to that church, that man had never, hardly even spoken a word to me. And then that particular Sunday, he got this time of sermon, came all the way down the aisle. Maybe, for a church to complain about the dangers of modern psychology is the exact same thing what they would be doing if they did it, but they don't, is preaching about the dangers of modern medicine. Because you know what? In modern medicine, there's some crappy parts. There's some things that aren't right, that aren't true, that we should stay away from. But there are some really good things too that we need, if you've got a pain in your back, you need to go to the doctor. I mean, plain and simple, you need to go to the doctor. If you are having emotional problems, you have to be careful what psychologist you go to, but it doesn't mean you don't go to one, or you shouldn't go to one, because the church isn't trained to deal with that sort of thing. Yeah, they think they know Christ, and they think, all you got to do is just be a better Christian and your emotional problems will go away. Well, I'm sorry, but that's not how it helped. I mean, even Job had his 3 friends. Now, granted, they weren't very good friends, but he sat there with his 3 friends. Now, they weren't psychologists, and you can say, oh, well, that was the church family coming there. You know, he didn't go off to a psychologist. Okay, whatever. But it's like we need help. We need help sometimes. And yes, do we have to be careful of what psychologists we go to? Yeah, we do. Because there could be some weird things going on. There could be some weird things that they're trying to plant into your mind. But there could also be some really good things, some really good education. Especially if it's a Christian, you know? I don't know. I said I wasn't going to do this, but I did. It's infuriating. And the church needs to wake up. And the church needs to protect their daughters. The church, it's so many churches, not all of them. I am in a church now that to some degree they have some issues because they will not speak up about abuse in the church. They will not. People have come to them and said this is something that needs to be addressed, and they won't do it. Why? Why won't the church do it? Cowards. You are cowards. I'm saying that right now. I'm calling you out. You are cowards. Absolute cowards, and you need to stop. We have the power of Christ, and as long as you're preaching him correctly, there's no topic that we should be afraid to preach. If you are, then you need to step down. Plain and simple, you need to step down, because you're not a true preacher. You're just an entertainer. I'm sorry, I'm just getting fired up because this is something, I've got to find a way to be a voice in the wilderness about this topic, because so many women are being severely mistreated, and nobody's doing anything about it. And there's men that are being severely mistreated too. I grew up in that. My father was severely mistreated by all 3 of his wives. He's on a 4th one now, and she's actually the good one of the bunch. But the first 3, they were all horrible. And so I saw my dad being mistreated. Anyway, so that's what's on my mind. Maybe I don't need to do another video because I've kind of gone over a lot of it now. But have you experienced this? And if you have, I am so sorry. Whether you're a male or female, whether you're the husband or the wife, the boyfriend or the girlfriend, the daughter or the son, the mother or the father, I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. And I pray for these situations, and we need to be praying for the church to wake up, because this is the number 1 issue in our congregations. Because if we've got people coming into our church pretending to be good, wonderful people, then they go home and they mistreat their families, that's a number 1 problem. Number 1. And if we're too afraid to address it, then we're cowards, and we need to quit pretending like we're preachers, because we're not. We're not doing the duty in the service of God. All right, I think I'm done with my rant for now. Oh, I hope y'all are doing well. I praise the Lord that today's a beautiful day, and I praise the Lord that I feel good today. And if anyone sees this before my CAT scan, I'm going to be having that in about 3 hours. I would love and covet your prayers that everything is getting better instead of worse. All right, until next time, take care. Do the YouTube-y things like subscribe, share, whatever you feel like you want to do. See you later. Bye.